Buffy the Vampire Slayer is one of the most important and influential shows of all time. Its writing style shaped the entire movie industry since the creator Joss Whedon went on to write the first Avengers movie, which then influenced the entire movie industry, including Star Wars and other type of movies with the infamous MCU joke style. You know what I mean, the "he's right behind me, isn't he" type jokes. It can be the most serious situation possible, people can be dying in the background, and somebody has to drop that Tony Stark one-liner or some other corny ass joke. Even though Buffy is extremely important, it's also in a very weird place. It's popular enough to be referenced in so many shows, and even has a reboot in development, which was just announced, but it also isn't that talked about, and honestly it doesn't even feel like it's that popular. Compared to other 90s and 2000s shows like The Office or The Sopranos, Buffy feels more obscure and kind of a cult classic that has its core fan base, but is not really watched or talked about outside of that. And it's unfortunate because Buffy is phenomenal. It has some of the deepest, best written, and most human characters I've seen in anything. It balances being a 90s supernatural action show, but it also has the same type of character writing and stories that would feel right at home with something like Degrassi or Euphoria. It has its issues and its flaws, but it's one of the greatest shows of all time. And its spinoff Angel is pretty good too. Everything I said about Buffy being obscure applies even more to Angel. Angel is a very interesting show. I finished season 1 and I'm on season 2 episode 2, which is one of the best episodes in the entire franchise. So today I want to discuss Angel and my overall thoughts on what I've seen of this show so far. This is a video for both Buffy and Angel fans and even people who haven't seen any of these shows. There will be some light spoilers, but I'll keep it as light as possible. So let's get into it. Angel as a show was created to sort of solve one of Buffy's biggest flaws, Angel. Angel was a character that by the end of season 3 was defined by one thing, being Buffy's love interest. It became his entire focus. And it was the worst waste of his character, being a sadistic, fucked up stalker vampire, then getting cursed with a soul, living for over 200 years. I mean, we even see 2 of his girlfriends, and one of them gets killed off in early season 1. He was one of the most interesting characters on the show with so much they could explore, but by season 3, his sole existence is tied to his relationship with Buffy. He's not really close to anyone else, everything he does is because of her in some way. Hell, even their relationship holds Buffy back. It was the worst part of that season. The relationship was great in season 1, and what they do with it in season 2 is one of the peaks of the show, but it's ran its course. The writers realized that too, and their solution was to give him his own show. Looking back, this was a very risky decision, especially with booting another main character, Cordelia, to it as well. Angel and Cordelia on a show together sounded like something that probably wouldn't work, or at least not for long. And on top of that, this would be affecting Buffy at a very crucial time. Buffy was entering the college era of the show, a complete setting change. Neutering its cast would just add more problems and changes to a season that needed as much help as it could possibly get to stand on its feet. All of this was very risky, and all for a character solely defined by his relationship to Buffy, who would only appear in 2 episodes in the entire series. At best, this would be a failed one-season experiment to silently get rid of characters that the writers just didn't know what to do with anymore, because Cordelia was also getting more sidelined by the end of season 3. How the fuck does this work? Not only did it work, but they made a show that is on par with Buffy, and even surpasses it in some areas. Angel is about Angel, who after the events of season 3 leaves Sunnydale and goes to live in LA in order to distance himself from Buffy for a lot of reasons. Angel at this point is just roaming around and killing vampires because what else is he gonna do? He doesn't have any aims or goals, he's just going through the motions. Until he meets a man named Doyle and runs into Cordelia. They form an agency to deal with the supernatural problems in LA. One of the standout things in this show for me is its aesthetic. Angel takes a lot from 1950s detectives and noir films. Most of the early episodes are focused on Angel helping somebody who fits into like the tropes like a damsel in distress, the Marilyn Monroe type movie star, or somebody in an abusive relationship, which was like a very popular trope at the time. The show sometimes feels more like a modern version of these movies. In these situations, Angel usually takes that role as detective, but unlike detectives and main characters in those other movies, Angel doesn't have the same confidence or swag that they do. He's competent and smart, but he's borderline antisocial. He doesn't know how to talk to people and interact or say the right words, he's very distant, and what's sort of driving him at first is just do what he learned from Buffy. He cares and he wants to help, but subconsciously he's still defined by her. It's like the show itself is fully aware of how much he's been defined by her. The only person he was comfortable around and connected to was her, so how does he handle being by himself? How does he help people by himself? This is where Doyle and Cordelia come in. Doyle was a character that honestly I wasn't really sure about at first. When I saw him in the Buffy crossover episode, he just seemed annoying, honestly. But by episode 2, when I actually started watching the show, I really started to like him. Doyle was Angel's first genuine friend, and the way they understand and support each other was something that I would have never expected to see out of Angel back on Buffy. Cordelia was also an interesting pick for this show. While she and Angel had their moments, could they really carry a show with the same relationship they had? Yeah, Cordelia honestly feels better on Angel than she does on Buffy in a lot of moments. Cordelia sort of stays the same, she doesn't really change that much from Buffy, she's still blunt and says some of the craziest shit possible, but she's a little bit more humble. One thing I really didn't expect is how she opens Angel up in ways Buffy never did. She knows the right words and things to do, and looking back, the signs were there that she could always be this person for him, but now we're seeing that part of her being fully fleshed out, and it's one of the best parts of the show. Wesley from season 3 comes in a bit later and sort of has the same thing with Angel as Doyle, just seeing Angel actually have friends and guys who understand him completely evolve him from what he was before. We see such a range from him, genuinely getting invested in the people he's helping, seeing the sides of him that we just didn't see through Buffy's perspective. He's at his most human in this show, ironically. The setting of LA was a perfect place for the show to be set. The atmosphere is so strong in every scene, it feels so alive and lived in. LA feels like damn near Gotham at points, which fits with what the show is doing. Even one-off locations stay very consistent. In one later season 1 episode, we see two sides of the city. From the rich Beverly Hills mansion parties to the dirty streets on the ground where people are homeless and struggling. The writers definitely got this part of LA right. LA feels so developed, and I talk a little about this in the character section, but even the one-off characters set this more mature and moody tone. One of my favorite examples of this is episode 2. They go to a bar and everyone there is just trying to find a connection. Angel meets this girl named Kate, and just from a few scenes, you can tell a lot about her. She seems like she missed out on having that core friend group from high school or college, and over time, she just never got that. Outside of her job, she isn't really around people that much and doesn't really have any deep connections, so she just goes to this bar. She's a lot like Angel in that way, lost and trying to figure things out, finding a place in a close community, but still having something that she feels comfortable with, that being her job. But it's not enough. LA just has this feeling of drifting, being lost, and not knowing where things are going. The entire bar has that atmosphere too. It's such a unique feeling that you could only get in a show like this that develops its setting so well. With all the noise and chaos that goes on in LA, it makes the scenes in the office, the quiet moments of reflection, and the agency just talking and interacting with each other that much more impactful. Everything in Angel is unstable, from Angel himself to friendships, the lives they try to save. So these moments where this group of people, who at one point would be in the same room and not even acknowledge each other, start to become friends and even family. It's powerful in ways that it's just hard to explain in words. It's just something you have to see for yourself. Angel is a show that goes places Buffy never did up to this point. People die. Things don't work out. Sometimes it feels like nothing will work out. But in that feeling that Angel dives into, there's hope. It's not the type of optimistic feel-good hope, but the type of hope that where even when shit's hitting the fan, at the lowest moment possible, there's a drive to figure it out and climb out of it. Angel is inspiring, both the show and him. No matter how far you fall, how irredeemable you are, you always have a choice. The fight might not be won, but the value is in the fight. Reaching out a hand, and even if it goes bad, sticking to that mentality. Relapse, fall back into a dark place, and pull yourself out. Every moment you're alive is a moment we can change and be better. That's what I think the message of Angel is, or at least its first season. And I could go even deeper about this show with just the first season. I could talk about the fights and how stylish the show is, and the spoilers, because believe me, I'm leaving a lot out. But this video was just me rambling about this show from where I'm at in it, and hopefully whether you're a Buffy fan who hasn't seen it, or somebody who didn't even know about this show, hopefully this video showed you how good this show is even just in its first season. But with all that being said, I'm the Masked Man, and I'll see you guys next time, so peace out, take care, and have a good day. See you guys later.